Good, good, good. We're here to talk about the FPL, the Fantasy Premier League, Game Week 7 into Game Week 8. Any choices that we're going to make for swapping our squad around. But first, can I just mention how irritating the international breaks are? There's 3 in a season. Why? You've got September's international break, October and November's international break, and it just slows down any momentum or pain um, any momentum that any squads have. Maybe it's a good sign if you've just come off the back of a dodgy defeat. But I think from a Sunderland perspective, a sloppy first half, which was rectified from Reggie Labrie in the second half against Manchester United, I think if we played Wolves a little bit sooner, it might have been better for us than this international break with more injuries coming out the back of it and all of that. It's just a mess. Try and limit the international breaks to like one per season. Thank you. As you know, I shout out the team in my fantasy league. You can join it by clicking on this code here. Steve Fizz with the Till I Die squad getting 89 points. A really good choice in the captaincy. Semenyo getting 18 points. Captain obviously doubles that to 36. So that does absolutely massively help out with that total point tally. The additional selections against what I have in my squad that have brought up good points. Pedro Porro with 7, Timber with 11, Jack Grealish, who I think is now injured, um, with 10 points, and Raya getting a clean sheet against West Ham. So very, very interesting. And also Gakpo, maybe that could have, that swap around would have done better for him. But yeah, this is a solid squad. I'm just looking at my team for like hints and tips on where I could potentially make a substitution. Grealish getting injured doesn't really help. Gakpo with 7 points. I'm not sure if that's going to be a consistent selection. Timber, for me, is a interesting little player to have a look at defensively. If the team can keep a clean sheet, fantastic. Another London derby this week coming up against Fulham. 11 points, 2, 1, 8, 2, 24, and 0. Miss, hit, miss, hit, miss, hit. I'm not 100% sure. I'd rather do that continued trend. So miss, hit, if you get what I mean. We've got an interesting player who does pick up points quite consistently in the defensive position. Gahey, again, another good selection for Crystal Palace. And Pedro Porro, I think, is on the other side of that in that you go 6-5-4-6-1-1-7. So is that he's consistent. Interesting option there. From my team's perspective, let's have a look at what we finished on. 58 points. Robin Roos, Ballard, and Enzo Lafay when we lost 2-0 to Manchester United. Ballard wasn't on the pitch at the time, which is why he gets the extra point over the other two. We had a very choppy and very difficult opening first half, basically. Some sloppy defending, an absolute barrage from Manchester United. Their first like proper good performance all season. They deserve to win. Manchester United absolutely deserve to win, and I will discuss that in a little bit more detail in the Mac and Football Show podcast. So again, check the channel out, like and subscribe, all of that, if you want to have a live chat discussion with the boys. But yeah, like I said, generally good selection overall. Semenyo with his 18 points as a vice captain, and Haaland as the captain with 8 points. Coin flip. It was literally which one am I going to pick. But yeah, I don't think this is a bad squad week in week out. I think it just does depend on being a little bit more flexible with the big six playing each other. So in this squad, we have one transfer available for the next week. Do I make it? We've got both Matoma and Caicedo looking as a high risk, not likely to play. So Caicedo getting good points does actually bring me extra value, and I do have 2 million additional in the budget. So I think for me, with the teams that my current players are coming up against this week, so Villa with Tottenham, Sunderland against Wolves, that's going to be a huge game, by the way. I'm definitely going to start all 3 Sunderland players for that. Um, Spurs against Villa. Chelsea against Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Man U against Liverpool. The only one I'm not confident on getting good points is I think if I am going to change anybody, it'd probably be Murillo. So let's have a look at Murillo and see his full profile. How many points has he picked up in the last couple of weeks? 2, 1, 1, 3, and then nothing for the last couple. He, granted, he was injured and didn't play, but like he hasn't picked up a lot of points. 7 total points all season. I think if I am making a sub, it's got to be Murillo, right? So if I take out Murillo and select a replacement, who is that going to be? We've been talking about Gahey for a couple of weeks, and we've been talking about LaCroix a couple of times, and Timber this week with an absolute wonder week. So I think if I'm going to put anybody in, and I think who's going to be more consistent with the points, I'm going to put Gahey in. My first Crystal Palace player, I guess. And I think, isn't that giving me even more budget for the next week? Cool. There you go. So I think that's going to be my transfers. Just one swap. Murillo out, Gay in. That makes complete sense. Somehow he's zero 0.5 million cheaper. So that is completely logical. And then it's about squad selection. So Liverpool play Man U, always a tough one. Kirkeres, I'm happy to stay off. I'm going to switch out Matoma for Caicedo, even though there's that high risk of him not playing. And I think I'm going to take out Gyökeres for João Pedro because Gyökeres hasn't really hit his form yet. And maybe this is the game I've missed out. I'm going, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, I think that's better. Bournemouth coming up against Crystal Palace, who are strong and defensive. I think I'm going to keep my captaincy and vice captaincy the correct way around. I'm actually quite confident in this squad. I can't be asked doing a full outro. So see you on the next video. Bye. You know it's late, and what on earth is with the camera quality today?